Hi faculty, this will be a short video showing you how to import Canvas course content using a course export file. You can do this with any course export file, but eLearning actually has an example one set up. If you go to gatornet.greenriver.edu, you may have to sign in using your Microsoft credentials. That'll take you to this page where I am already. And then you can get to eLearning, probably a couple different places I always go to, I'm looking for, and just click on eLearning. And then the example course export file that we're going to use is under instructional design. And then if we scroll down, we'll see organization and facilitation. That's where we want to click. There's actually two different export packages here as examples. There's one if you wanted to organize your course by week. There's another one if you want to organize it by topic, each module in your course. I'll go ahead and use the weekly module example. If you click on that, it'll actually take you to the Course Commons page where you can go ahead and download it from there. So I'll just click on Import Download. And you could actually import it right into one of your courses if you wanted. You just select which course you want to move that content to, and it'll put it right in there. But I'm going to go ahead and click download. This will actually download as a zip file. That's okay. We'll go ahead and use that. That'll work just as well for us. All right, so now I've got that file on my computer. And now I'm going to go to the course that I want to actually import this stuff to. So on the course homepage, I can go to Import Existing Content, or I can go into Settings down here and find Import Course Content there as well. So ours downloaded as a zip file. You might also get course export packages that are IMSCC files. Either one of those will work. We'll go ahead and to actually do this import, click on Content Type. We'll use Canvas Course Export Package. We'll find the file on my computer here. This one is using that zip file that we downloaded earlier. I'll go ahead and hit open. And I'm just going to import everything. If you wanted to take some but not all of the stuff in the export package, you can choose the select specific content and choose just the items you want. I'm also going to leave the dates unadjusted here, but that's another option that you have. I'm going to click import. It's going to go through this process. It's going to queue, and then it's going to start going through the process. When it gets a chance, it'll turn blue, and we'll have to wait a while. Now you can see it's running, and finally it's completed. So now that that's done, we can go back to the home page in our course, and all of that stuff in that export package has been imported into our course. Whether you're using the template that we downloaded here or another course export package that maybe another instructor shared with you, you want to go through and make sure that everything is specific to your course. So for this example thing here, you want to go through each page and kind of modify it so that it fits your course. So I can come in here, I can click on each of these pages that are in my modules. I can go to Edit, and then where this text is, I can go ahead and edit that to make it specific for my course, make any changes I want, and then I can scroll down and hit save. And then I can go back to home. You'd want to do this for every page all the way through. Like for example, there's this page here that you could click on that sort of links students to the Canvas orientation course for students. You could go ahead and edit that and maybe tell them what you specifically want them to do to prepare for your course. So go through and adjust those pages, save, and make sure the content is edited to your liking. So then back at this home page, we've got kind of a start here module. We've also got a week one, so here you could edit the name of the week, maybe insert what topic you want there. So you can edit any of these module names by clicking this three-dot drop-down menu and then click Edit. You can change the name there, hit Update Module, and that'll update the name there. You can click on, again, each of these pages would have to be customized for your individual course, but you could go in and edit those just like we did on the other pages. And then anytime you change something, go ahead and hit save. If we go back to home, we'll see the modules. And once your week 1 is set up the way you want, if you wanted to sort of build off of that for other weeks, something you can do is next to the drop-down menu for that module, you can actually duplicate modules. So I'll make a copy of everything in here, including any pages that are in here. It'll throw on this name of copy at the end of each of these. So maybe I wanted to make a week 2. You could come in here and, again, edit that, change the name to whatever topic you might be covering in week 2, hit update on that. Go through and edit your copy of the week 1 to make it specific to week 2 and so on, and going through and editing all of those pages to fit whatever that module is covering. And then as always, save, save, save. All right, we'll go back to the home page where our modules are. Once any of these are ready to go and you want students to be able to view them, you've got to make sure the module and any pages you want them to see in the module are published. So this circle with the kind of Ghostbuster slash means the module's unpublished and students won't actually see it. When it's green, like this, the module or page or assignment is published and students can actually view it. So if this module is ready to go, I want to click Publish to make sure that students can actually see it. Another thing you'll want to be able to do is add items to modules or assignments to modules or anything like that. So I'm going to go into week 1 and let's say I wanted to add some sort of file. You can click the plus button here next to the name of the module and click what kind of thing you want to add, assignments, quizzes, files, etc. If I wanted to do a file, I can create new files from here or choose, if I had files already in the course, I could choose them from here and drop them into the module. I'll go ahead and create a new file here. Find that file on your computer. I'll go in here and just grab one of my, let's say I wanted to upload this answer key. And then I can add items into modules that way. So once that's done, I can click and drag, move these around, change the order, kind of customize it however I'd like. If I wanted to work on a page or something and don't want it visible to students, I would just make sure to unpublish it. And you've got a couple different options there. You can also set the availability by date, which is kind of cool. And if there's a page in here that you didn't need to use, let's say I didn't need to use this activity anymore, I've replaced it with something else like a discussion board or something, I can actually remove things from these modules by clicking on the 3-dot drop-down menu next to the item I don't want, and I can go down to remove it. It won't actually delete it from the course if it's something like a page. It'll just remove it from the modules, but students won't be able to see it within the module any longer. And I could bring it back from pages or adding it if I wanted it to end up in some other module or something like that. So that's how you can import a course export package into Canvas and how to do some editing and customizing. If you wanted to export this to use maybe in a different course, there's a way to do that as well. If you go down to Settings and then click Export Course Content, you can choose to export the entire course or just the quizzes within the course. I'll go ahead and do Course, create an export, and it'll go through and sort of package that. Now it tells me I'm done here. I'm going to reload the page. And then I can click on my export from just a little bit ago and download it that way. And now that's going to download as that file type. And I could import that into any other course using the same steps that we did earlier in the video. So that's how to import course content into Canvas and sort of a rough overview of how to edit and customize your course the way you'd like it.